Mm-hmm. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Time to get up, move your body. First Sky Omaha Radio. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Check. Is this thing on?
Yeah. What up? Voila. Buddy, you shining like a diamond.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Although diamonds don't shine, they reflect.
Ooh.
What's happening? Good morning. How you feeling over there, man?
I'm good. I'm actually broadcasting live from Atlanta Art District.
I was wondering how the change was there. Okay.
Yeah. New look.
There you go.
Yeah,
Atlanta Art District.
Yeah, it's a new studio I've been working at, man. Big shout out to the big bro DJ Decepticon.
That's what's up, man. All right. I like it.
Yeah.
Broadcasting from other places in Atlanta.
Oh yeah. I mean,
showing off the town. I like it.
Ain't that what we talked about? Moving around.
You gotta move around a little bit. That's real. Good morning. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul Beee, Buddi3 Da Gawd.
Hey.
Get up, go wiggle. Got a good morning from Wanda Lewis. What's happening? Good morning from Amy Hutflis. Good morning, fam. What's going on with you?
Tip at top of the morning to you.
Yeah, thank you very much for getting up early with us.
Man, emphasis on the early.
Yeah, man.
Especially our West Coast listeners, man. That's love.
That's real, man. That's real.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning over there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the. Whenever I'm out there, I'm just like, they got to get up early for this. This is crazy.
And they do it faithfully, man. I'm talking about Miss Willie Williams over there.
Yeah. Southwest correspondent.
Yeah, man.
Pops in Vegas getting up early. That's what it is, man. What's happening in Rome's Reviews? He said, just got off work. Oh, man, you on that night shift these days, huh?
Man.
So they had to do an overnighter. Pay so nice. About to do it twice. I hear that.
Hey.
I understand.
Don't blame you.
Yep. What's going on, y'all? It is Friday, August 26th. It is the 26th, ain't it?
Yeah. Make sure our wire is not crossed.
I'll be keeping track of days. I don't know what's happening. Pop says, good morning, First Sky Squad and fam. We all made it to Friday again. Outstanding.
Man.
That's what's up. Good morning, Pops. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everyone who gets up so early in the morning. Appreciate everybody that's over on the radio channel as well. I hope the mix was good for you. Got a little jazzy mix going on. What's happening, 630 crew? And all of you. The chat chimers. We've been having some real discussions about the chat chimers in the last couple of days from some of the other news organizations and people in town. So
they see y'all.
Yeah, man. They're like, nobody's doing it like y'all. Y'all having actual discussions several times a week. Like, who's doing that? So I said us, and that was the end of the conversation.
Drops mic.
How y'all feeling this morning? Another sleepless night for me. How about yourself, buddy?
Yeah, same here. Could definitely use a couple more Z's.
Yep.
But we in here, man. We in here. Definitely, as always, looking forward. This is my coffee, man. I'm not a big coffee drinker, so a lot of times I wake up kind of tired, and get to doing this show, and by the end of it, I'm usually feeling pretty invigorated.
That's what's up.
Yeah, even if I plan to go to sleep after the show, doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, you get all wired up. I heard that.
Yeah, man. Charged up.
And tell the people where you at again. You in a special place today.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Coming at you live from the Atlanta Art District. Big shout out. This is a new media center in Atlanta. It's quite nice, man. Maybe one day I have to give like a virtual tour or something, man. It has like 3 or 4 different studios, a podcast room, which I'm in right now. Whole like video photography area. It's quite nice, man. A friend of mine I met in college actually just recently built this out earlier this year. So brand
Wow,
new studio. Yeah, yeah.
I like it. I like it. That's what's up. Blackity Black gives us a good morning with some sunshine. What's happening? Appreciate you coming on this morning. Thanks for everybody that's here. We have a special guest on or a little later on today. Going to
Yeah.
be talking a little bit about Biden's announcement. I'm anxious to hear a little bit more about what this means because I definitely have some student loan stuff out that I want to
Man,
figure out if I qualify for getting some forgiveness. Forgive me.
please forgive me, please.
Yeah, I'll take it. I like. I don't know if you guys been paying attention to what Precious has been talking about. Precious McKesson is all over Facebook. Like, hey, for those of you talking bad about Biden, I bet you gonna go ahead and get
Yeah,
down on that forgiveness.
yeah. I'm gonna get that forgiveness. Come on.
Get that forgiveness. So we got a special guest. Whittney Richardson is coming in a little earlier, and that's right. Thank you. Wanda Lewis says,
Yes.
"Wishing Miss Erica felt a speedy recovery. Today's the day she's going in for that operation." So
I thought yesterday was the day she had surgery.
I don't know if it was. I think
I
she
think it
went
was
in
yesterday.
yesterday. Did she have the
Okay,
surgery
okay.
yesterday? Yeah,
Actually, it's quite possible because you do have to do like
some
pre-op.
prep and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. At
but
any speed, yes. Get well
nonetheless,
soon.
right. So yeah, let's definitely be checking on her. Wanda Lewis says yesterday. Yes, yesterday. Okay, cool. So
Yeah, okay.
yeah, we'll have to go in and make sure that she's cool today and all that good stuff. I'll definitely call in and check on her. But
Now's the time. Make sure we hitting up that meal train. She's fresh from surgery, so can't really get up and do what she's used to doing at
right,
this moment. So yeah, definitely make sure we're still hitting up this meal train, helping out and supporting one of our own, man. We can't sit here and talk about who what the government and what the city and what everybody else ain't doing for us, and we ain't doing for ourselves.
yeah, there you go. Got to remember she is for those of you that come in and out and don't really know too much. Miss Erica Feld is a chat chimer that is a very active chat chimer and one of the friends of First Sky Omaha from the beginning. She's went into surgery yesterday. Has to have some major surgery actually. Had to shut her business down in order for her to be able to go through this and recover
Yeah,
recovery time. So we're helping her out here with this milltrain.com. I just put it in the chat. You can donate to some money to her too, so you can pay that rent, but you can also put your name on that schedule so that you can tell her when you're gonna bring her some food or get her some food sent, so that she can kind of have some help through this time period. So she's
yeah,
the
man.
kind of individual that would do it for us and has done it. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I definitely want to help her out. But yeah, so anybody who has knows her personally wants to call and check on her and call and find out what's going on and how she's doing and everything.
Please
Please let
do,
us know. Report back. Please do that and let us know. So yeah,
man. Speaking of reporting back, how you doing, man? How you feeling?
yeah, I'm good. Another sleepless night. Don't know what's happening with the nights of the show. I don't know. I'll be
I'm
thinking about
telling
the
you.
topics too hard or something. I
Mhm.
don't know.
It's that preparing the night before. It's like, get your mind going. No,
Wheels turning.
yeah,
Uh,
It's a good thing though. It's a good thing. We're anxious, excited, but yeah,
yeah.
definitely, sneak in that siesta a little later on.
Yeah, man. I've
Yeah,
learned. Pops taught me that, man. Shh. Soon as you get that little woozy, go lay down for a minute, man.
yeah. Keep
What
them
it do?
batteries charged. Keep them batteries charged. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the topics today. We do have a lot to talk about. Unless you have something else on your mind, on your heart,
I just
Paul.
just gonna remind the people to share the show. If you're on Facebook, do us a favor, share the show on your page, and we'll get as many people talking today as we can. And also, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. Appreciate you on the YouTube people. The YouTube group that's forming over there, growing as we speak. So appreciate that. Also, the brother Muhammad's in the house now. So he says,
Hey,
Salam family.
yeah, alaikum
Appreciate you.
salam, brother.
Appreciate you very much. Friday, August 26th. What we got, buddy? What's happening?
Man, today is the day that God made. So definitely welcome the first guy Omaha in the morning. Thanks for tuning in with us. As Paul mentioned, we will be having a special guest on a little later to talk about the student loan forgiveness has actually now doubled. It started at 10K, now it's gone up to 20K, and a few other perks being thrown in. So we'll definitely look at that. Also, this is a story we've been meaning to talk about actually for some time, and definitely want to squeeze this in, and definitely connected to a few other stories. But this actually coming from the Southern Poverty Law Center. Emails show that the Omaha police plan a deal with the far right linked gun shop. Talking about 88 Tactical, we kind of touched on this. Pardon yourself. But we talked about this, and now there's a little more information, a little more background. Apparently, 88 Tactical did team up with some far right organizations. Actually, had a anti-Muslim speaker come out. So yeah, we're going to definitely dive into some of that. Also, Nebraska GOP. This comes from the Nebraska Examiner, has tweeted out some tweets that's signaling to what we've been talking about, what's going on with the schools and the conservative push on schools. Think back to the CRT hoopla that was going on, and now they're pushing to ban books. So yeah, we'll definitely dive into that. And then also old Herbster making a return, although he did not make it through the primary, again falling short of illin' pillin', as we like to call him around here. Herbster is now making headlines with this most recent move. He has a new political action committee that's pushing more conservative traditional values. So yeah, we'll see exactly what that means here in a second. And of course, season 4, we're talking about following the money. We'll definitely look at some of the real estate investments that's happening here in the area. Actually, there is a commercial real estate summit recently that I definitely want to talk about. And then of course, Front Porch just received a few $1 million excuse me, earmarked for affordable housing. So
not Front Porch.
Front Porch. So we're talking about all that and more. Of course, if there's anything on your hearts, your minds, feel free to chime into the chat. Let us know. Without further ado, let's get this thing going.
Right on. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. All Beee, Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you, the chat chimers, thanks for joining us on this Friday, August the 26th, 2022. I see over here in the Friends of First Sky Omaha, Kate DeSoe gives us a good morning. Good morning to you as well. Appreciate you chiming in and coming on in and listening to us this morning. Also, Chris Moore says, good morning, chimers. Also, Tyreka Hudson. Houston says, that she put the name out. I don't know who's saying this. I don't know who's it says Facebook user, so I'm not sure who put Tyreka Houston's name there. But thank you and good morning to you as well. Brother Muhammad says, I love y'all always. Love you too, brother. Appreciate you. Blackity Black said Eric is in FB jail.
Again?
As per usual, went in right before she went in for her operation, I suppose. Right. It was over something silly too. Like I don't understand why they put her in FB jail for
usually
a photo.
Is.
The FB jail thing is ridiculous, man. But anyway, thank you for joining us. Shout out to Star Trek Rich and the Weberized crew for always having our backs over there as well. If you have podcast ideas, definitely check out Weberized.com and get your podcast taken care of. And, we're going to jump into some things to talk about here. Again, we have a special guest coming up. Whittney Richardson is going to join us a little later on and break some of these things down a little bit about what's happening here with these debt, these loan forgivenesses that's happening right now. Also, Facebook says, oh, that was Kimra. She
Okay.
says Rika is my sister and also works for the Department of Education. She's always interested in the convo about debt forgiveness. Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
trying to get forgiven for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
You have student loans, right?
absolutely, man. Absolutely. I gotta. Yeah, and I would love to get them knocked down. And like a lot of us, I went for the Pell Grant
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
qualified for it. So yeah, this is targeting some people this is supposed to help people who took out Pell Grants and so on and so forth. Well, like I said, lots more information coming. But before we get started, I'm gonna have to go ahead and Kimra, how you gonna not come to the show and then go be on the boss?
Call her out.
I saw
Call
you.
her out.
I seen you. I seen you. Yeah, for those of you that that we were saying she was gonna come on, we had some mix up, so she'll be on next week. We'll be seeing what's good in the hood with Kimra Snipes,
Yeah, man.
and make sure that she's not gonna be on the boss next week, and she'll be here with us in the morning. So you have a blessed day too. Thank you, appreciate you.
Thank you kindly. You did
Thank you,
it.
Natalie. Rose Review says no student loans for me. Okay,
Okay.
well.
Congrats. Must be a sweet life.
Kimber's trying to clean it up. It's all good. It's all good. It's okay.
No,
It's all right.
ain't no love lost. No love lost. Just
We just
you know
mess
where to
with
come next Wednesday.
had to call you out. If you're on Facebook, do us a favor and share the show. Let's get as many people in as we can. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. We get real comfortable with everybody who is in who are our friends of First Sky Omaha and in the chat and doing all the chiming. But let's bring some more folks in and get some more opinions and some more information and things to say too as well. Carolyn Jack gives us a good morning. Carolyn, did you go check the play out last night? Did you go see American Son? How was it? Let us know. I had to work late, so I'm gonna probably go check it out tonight. Everybody keeps on saying it's powerful performances is happening though. So shout out to Kathy Tyree. 2 more days to see it tonight and tomorrow night. But yeah, Kathy Tyree and the cast, they say they're killing the game. Everybody's walking out crying and feeling good. You know, powerful
Yeah.
performances happening over there at the Benson Theater. So check it out.
Mama
She
Guy
says
hit me up pretty late last night saying the same thing. Like she was like, phenomenal play, phenomenal.
that's what's up.
Yeah,
Carolyn Jackson,
she
I
was a little
did.
upset she didn't see you out there though, Paul.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, you know,
Had a busy day though. Had a busy day.
behind the scenes trying to make them things work and
Yeah,
go off
man.
in the
Yeah,
first
man.
place. Carolyn Jack says I did. It was amazing, powerful. Yeah, everybody's saying powerful play. So that's what's up,
Beautiful.
man. A couple people had their debuts and stuff like Just Bee is out there
Okay.
on the cast. And he said this is the first time he's done any kind of real like straight acting without like there being a singing part or whatever. So yeah, man. So you know, new cats on stage and everything. So I'm with it. With it. Can't wait to check it out.
Yeah, man.
So anyway, in the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and jump into these things before our guest comes in. Buddy, what's on the agenda for today?
Well, let's go ahead and start with this real estate stuff. Following the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Um, and we'll jump off actually with this commercial real estate summit. I don't know if you heard about this, but this coming out of Nebraska Examiner. Recently there was a commercial real estate summit at the CHI Health Center, and apparently Omaha is preparing to step up its role as a real estate development center, which has me thinking that there might be more to this TIF district than we we're looking into, as an official link in the International Network of Urban Land Institute, which apparently a lot of Omaha real estate developers are looking to launch a local chapter. This would give local members will allow them to be able to tap into more consulting, training, resources, and form stronger regional and national partnerships. That's according to Jason Fisher, who's the chief executive of Cushman and Wakefield, or the Lund Company, which does a lot of real estate projects in the area. Around the Omaha Metro, if you will. And last Friday, during the annual commercial real estate summit, Fisher and a panel of area real estate leaders discussed a movement to gain enough traction for a local chapter of the Urban Land Institute, which has about 60 chapters across the U.S. and more globally. And discussion is just one segment of the summit, which actually had about 800 different businesses and real estate and people from the real estate industry and apparently the conference started about 33 years ago, and they're all looking at new challenges and opportunities in commercial real estate, particularly as a condition or the conditions have shifted from the COVID-19 pandemic. Again, there are a lot of funds out there, a lot of TIF projects, a lot of movement, just real estate wise, even in light of the rocked economy from the pandemic. And I just wanted to bring this up really to the chat and to the show to talk about, put in perspective what we've been talking about as far as following the money, the LB 1024, these hundreds of millions of dollars coming into North and South Omaha, and everything that we've been talking about is trying to get some sort of real estate, major commercial real estate project in North Omaha. And I'm wondering how many people from North Omaha was at the summit. How many organizations? Does anyone know of any organizations that was at the summit?
Construction companies. I mean, how many organizations as far as contractors are you talking about? Are you talking about like actual development companies that exist in North Omaha?
Both.
I definitely know that there's more construction companies that exist in North Omaha than development companies. I really only know of one development company that's Black owned and in North Omaha. So not really sure. Not really sure about and of course we don't know who's at the summit at all.
Right.
So
and I mean, how many people are familiar with the Commercial Real Estate Summit? I mean, this is again the 33rd year that this has been going on. And as people who are interested in bringing jobs to North Omaha and South Omaha, maybe some commercial real estate should be some things, we should be aware of what commercial real estate developers are talking about, are planning, because they're coming together and developing a plan. Where does the North and South Omaha fall in that?
Yeah,
because there's commercial real estate and there's land in these areas. There's a lot of land in these areas. So again, what are the plans for those areas?
When all these plans were, when we had Terrell McKinney and Senator Justin Wayne on early on, when they were talking about going for these funds, some of the ideas were that the funds were going to go to smaller construction companies that could use these funds in order to pass certifications, hire more, go from a 2 or 3 man team to a 10 man. I think you got to have 10 people on staff in order for you to be considered a certain size company, and to do all these things in order to get to that status of being a developer, and then having some money behind them to go and actually do some development work. So
right.
I'd like to know where that where we are there. Is any of this money still is that still the plan? Have any of the construction companies stepped up? Does anybody in the chat know? Does anybody that's listening, ghost listeners, anybody know about construction companies that are reaching out, trying to upgrade their situation and become developers and reaching out for this money?
Yeah, I have to go back into the archives. I remember back in the Minus Old days, Doug and Mika. If you remember the Doug and Mika show, they had a guest on that was a sister. She, a young sister, and I believe her and her husband had started like a contracting company, or they were getting into real estate. And she was kind of one of the first ones that brought it to my attention, just what that landscape looks like as far as a quote unquote minority owner in that, in that landscape, in that area that's trying to secure contracts and trying to move and do business, and some of the challenges that you might face. And it's first of all, not many contractors or developers of quote unquote of color or minorities doing that work. And the few that are, it's the few that are, it's almost like you have it kind of reminds me of like sharecropping. When you think of like how sharecropping worked, where what I'm saying, all of these former slaves, they were getting land and they were getting opportunities, but in order to buy the tools, or in order to do the work, they had to contract under their former slave owner. You know what I mean? And that just is what it reminds me of, because all of the, like, in order to actually do construction, in order to get a part of these projects, it's almost like you have to go under a Lund, or you have to go under these major corporations in order to do the work. And it's why is it like that?
Well, And remember, this happened just a few years back when they built the new buildings over at the at Metro at a Metropolitan Community College North Campus. They put it out there that they wanted companies from the neighborhoods to be able to do this work, but none of them qualified. So what they did was bring Kiewit in, and then they put a program together, and they were supposed to go through the Kiewit program in order to get to the level of qualification and so on and so forth. I don't think that ever came of anything either. They had. I went to some of the meetings, taped some of the meetings, recorded some of the meetings, and people were asking a lot of questions in both North and South Omaha, but I don't think it ever came to that. They had a lot of qualifications that they needed to be able to qualify for, and I don't think a lot of them were able to. So it ended up being Kiewit doing all the work, really. And I just it felt like lip service a little bit. In the chat, Wanda Lewis says there was an auction yesterday at the city. $150,000 houses went for $20,000 for back taxes, etc. through bidding. That's interesting. We need to pay a little bit more attention to that. Amy Huffless in the chat says, I think it would be great for Front Porch to offer a program to help these smaller companies with capacity and jump through the Davis-Bacon hoops. like use all the funding to create change and build folks up to build their own wealth.
Yep.
That would be ideal.
Right.
I take that back. I know two development companies. We've been talking about Blair Freeman, which is the women that have put together the construction company. They're doing some developing,
okay.
and then OIDC, which is Mike Maroney, those guys over there. So those are only two I know that are even considered development companies. I know a whole lot of 2 and 3 man construction crews.
Okay. Senator Wayne, put some respect on his name. He's a contractor. He's not quite a developer, right?
I'm not really sure. I know that he's a contractor. I know that he has had some jobs. I'm not sure if he's doing any development yet.
And what's the difference? Like,
well, the development is like you kind of are raising funds, and you're planning several housing complex or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you're putting together a plan with the city. You work with the city, the planning department, and you put something. You develop a whole a whole project full of houses and things. Like you're building the houses so they will come to it. A construction company is getting paid by a developer to build the houses. So like a construction company is going to do the work. They can get paid to do the work. They're not the ones that are financing the building of the houses and so on. So they, if they can get to that point, then that's great for them, because then they're making money in the long run, building wealth in the long term that way. But until you get past just being a construction company, then you're just you do the job, it's over, and that's that. So Wanda Lewis says they need the implementation of Davis-Bacon wages, otherwise workers will be underpaid. Very true. Excuse me. Amy says developer figure out the funding, gets the property, hires the architect and contractors to make the thing happen. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
and we got a lot of contractors. We don't even have a lot of architects.
Yeah. Not many architectural firms, especially not North and South Omaha.
Yeah. So yeah, we want the developers to get to that. We want developers. We want people to be able to get to that funding and help plan and build things out in the city.
And as you see, the money is out there. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and roll into it. Talking about Front Porch Investments, recently, as you mentioned, doing the developer work, partnering with the city of Omaha, and they are looking for real estate developers and other applicants interested in a chunk of $40 million that's been earmarked for affordable housing projects. The money comes from the Federal American Rescue Plan Act. That actually the city earlier directed to Front Porch Development and Preservation Fund. The amount is being matched by contributions handled by Front Porch. And proposals for the initial round of funding are due by noon on September 13th. Again, that's noon on September 13th. They will be, quote unquote, vetted through a strategic priorities lens, and chosen recipients will be announced in November. That's according to a press release from Front Porch. First round proposals are to focus on grants, short-term loans, and property development that increases affordable housing options in Omaha. Both nonprofit and for-profit developers are eligible. Winning projects will target households that earn less than 120% of the median income.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
Well, like Amy said, I feel like I wish they had some programs in there that could you know help build capacity. Um, I mean, it's gonna be helpful what they're doing, but building wealth.
Yeah.
Very
And I think early on when we were diving into this whole affordable housing conversation, we were just trying to figure out what it is. What does it mean? What it is. I think kind of here amongst the listeners, we kind of deducted that it's really just a buzzword. And I mean, there's a definition. There's a few actually. There's a few definitions of what a few organizations believe it to be. I think the working definition that we receive is 30% of 30% of your income going to your housing, and that's supposed to be, if that is what it is, then it's supposed to be considered affordable housing. But I think that's not the conversation anymore. We should just get away from I think we figured it out. It's not about affordable housing. It's about making enough money that you can afford the market rate.
Yeah, that's the main thing. The living wage, the above, where you can pay market rate, whatever the market rate is, you can afford it because you're making enough money. That definitely is the better solution. I feel like, but there's also always going to be people that have lower wage jobs. I mean, that's just their job. Those are jobs out there. Like, um, you know, um, everybody's not going to have a high paying job all the time. There's jobs out there that pay low because the work is such that it just you can't pay somebody working at McDonald's $30 an hour. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends on what the job is too. And those people also need to be able to, if they're working full time, it doesn't matter how much they make. If they're working full time, they should be able to live somewhere.
Right. And I mean, quite honestly, though, based on conversations we had recently, man, it don't look like McDonald's or Burger King. They're not paying anybody. They're paying the robots and the kiosks now. So, yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
Hey, Von Chapman put on Friends of First Sky Omaha a graphic that says hourly wage required to afford a 2-bedroom rental home in each state. And I think where was Nebraska? Nebraska was at $17 an hour, and he's saying this is before expenses like childcare, utilities, and everything else. So you at least got to make $17 an hour to afford a 2-bedroom house. I don't even know if that don't even sound like it's accurate to me.
Nah. Remember, we did the calculations. It was closer to like 22, 25 per
Well,
hour.
and also the 2-bedroom rental homes are a whole lot more expensive now. Like I feel like we've been talking about these 1-bedrooms that are going for $1,000, $1,100. Like how a 2-bedroom is up to $1,400, $1,500, $1,600 now. So that just don't sound right to me. That $17 an hour is what you need. I mean, of course they're saying before bills.
Right. And that's the point. It's the after the bills that you need that 20. After all the bills, you're gonna find out that you need at least $20.
Yeah. Wanda Lewis in the chat is saying I used to do the paperwork when I was a general contractor, very necessary and also monitored by the city as far as qualifications of those performing the work and pay scale for those jobs. So you got an inside view there, what's happening there. Christy Norris says, I'm opening a senior living community and no one makes less than $15 an hour in the building.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, for sure. Amy says, yep, me too. I just think it would help smaller contractors without experience to offer them help in doing it all correctly. Yeah, that was the thing that stuck out in my mind when I was going to those meetings for, the construction that was happening over at Metro is the qualifications. They had a big packet of a list of things that these contractors had to be able to do. And, of course, they got to be bonded. Of course, they got to spend money on insurance. They got, there's a lot of stuff that has to happen there to get to the point of being able to even handle bigger jobs, let alone get to the point where you also have access to funds in order to be a developer. So that's not even what. So those meetings weren't even for them to be developers. Those were just to be able to handle bigger construction jobs.
Man, and that brings me back to the first story from this commercial real estate summit. And again, there's push to get this Urban Land Institute to open a local chapter in Omaha. And what the Urban Land Institute does, it's a national and international, again, network of commercial real estate developers. And what that does will actually, if Omaha has a chapter, then Omaha area developers and contractors will be able to have national expert panels from the membership to offer low cost consultation and technical advice. So that could be what we're talking about, getting these low cost consultations on how to do certain things right. But again, my question is, what of the developers and organizations in North Omaha, are they a part of this summit? Were they at this summit? If there is a local chapter, will, like we're talking about, some of these contractors and developers get some of these benefits?
Wow, this is something here. Brianna Full in the chat says, did you know contractors like Blair Freeman won't be able to work on big projects like Karma's development because they can't get insured because they don't have enough projects under their belt? I hate that so much. I did not. I was thinking that they were doing these big projects. I thought that was like the one they were doing with Carmen across the street there on 24th and Lake. I thought that was something that they were. I guess they're the construction company, so they're not the developer.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not even. So I was thinking that they were one of the developers raising the funds for that, but obviously not. And again, if you don't have a bunch of big projects under your belt, you can't even get in. You can't even get bonded.
But how do you, it's almost like coming out of college and you're looking for a job, but you need experience to get the job, but you need the job to get the experience. It's like, how does it work? How does it work?
22.
Man.
Yeah, that's rough. Amy says now there are programs that exist that do this like Reach, etc. at a cost that no one wants to pay. Everyone is in it for something. It should just be free. With all these funds, it could be. It may be where the funds could go is for now. That's what I thought was part of the plan. So the funds could go to helping some of these companies get qualified and do what they need to do to be able to become developers.
Now that makes me think back to some of the requirements and some of the things that is reported, Terrell McKinney and the rest of the legislative committee that's watching over LB 1024. What they're looking for, is one-time things programs that they don't have to keep paying for, and then also things that will have wide-reaching and long-term effect. And I do think that, if we do not necessarily a continued program, but just a round of funding for developers to train them up to get what they need, like we're saying, to start doing some of these major projects, and then just kind of let them float, once they get the training and everything that they need. And then maybe in turn, those developers can come up and train and share resources amongst themselves. And it kind of grows organically that way without a need of some other nonprofit, stepping in. Just train these businesses up, let them do what they need to do, and then let the money flow. Let the money come in, let the projects happen.
Like I said, I pretty much gleaned that was the plan. We were asking, like, when you say that some of this money is going to go to affordable housing, is going directly to housing, and it was like, no, it's not going directly to housing. It's going to these companies in order for them to become development companies and build this out. So we had put out a call already for Brother Senator Justin Wayne, put some respect on his name, to come on back onto the show. And tell us what we're missing here as far as the information is concerned, and also answer a few more questions that we have here on some of these things, and see how close we are to what's going to happen with the funds. Where's it going? You just get some insight on what the committee's talking about and so on. Wanda Lewis says you can get bonding. You just have to put a bonding fee. There's people that will bond. Some people of color. Some are people of color.
Okay. Also, on that note, with the Front Porch investment, if you are to apply for this and get it, there is also some help as far as resources and information coming along with this. It says local banking agents and other guidance is available to applicants who need help preparing financial documents for proposals, which can go, that can help. We're talking about getting the paperwork together and handling the business on the back end, which apparently a lot of us need help with.
Yeah. Very true. Coming up on 7:40 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Buddy, before we go to break, Do you want to jump into something else? I know we got a guest that's going to come in here pretty soon. Something we need to squeeze in before the guest comes in, or would you like to go to a break? What do you want?
Actually, we can go to the break, just kind of tease it because that leads right up to this whole student loan forgiveness conversation. Again, we're following money here on season 4 and looking at where some investments are going and things like that. And one thing that can go a long way to helping some families and some people be able to afford housing is getting rid of these student loans.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll talk about that and more. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sound of that. Just want to go ahead and show Kimra Snipes over here on the boss. She trying to call us. She said, "I'm a planner. I just knew in my mind I wasn't going to come in there without y'all hollering at me first. I was clearly wrong. I'm calling y'all out. We had our conversation at the
we did holler at you.
Right, we hollered at you. Said, look, it's all good. It's all good because the bosses are our partners as well. So
yeah.
I'm glad to see y'all over there doing the thing. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd.
In the morning.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd. Buddy, tell the people where you at again. What you sitting over there looking like Bootsy Collins. Wrong you said, ain't nothing but a party, baby. I'm here in the red room.
Yeah, man, coming at you live from the Atlanta Art District on the south side of the A. New studio that opened up, man. So if you're ever in the Atlanta area looking to record some music, do a photo shoot, make a video, do a podcast, come holler at us. Atlanta Art District.
Yeah, over there in the Atlanta Art District, making some moves. I love it.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad we get to show off some different spots here, float around a little bit. So we were locked down over there at Weberized. We were over at the studio where everything was real nice and easy because of how the crew over there handled things. We out here struggling. We out here struggling with the tech again for real. But at least we get to go some other places and do some other things. So that's what's up. Brooke in the house says good morning. And dope. I know, man. I can't wait to see the Art District myself out there in Atlanta. That's probably gonna be my next trip.
Yeah, come through, man. Also, a reminder: I will be in Omaha in a couple weeks too, so we'll be broadcasting, for a couple spots out there as well. So yeah, stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned.
Anyways, welcome back. Welcome the radio channel, the radio people back as well. I know you guys are over there listening, so thank you so much for that. And everybody who's chimed into the chat, all the ghost listeners, really appreciate you being in here right now. We got lots to talk about still when it comes to this subject. Got to kind of break down what's going on with the student loan situation here, because I think a lot of us are affected, could be affected in a good way from these things. So, and we do have a special guest that is sitting in the wings waiting on us. Buddy, you want to set this up while we bring the special guest in?
Yeah, man. Continuing to follow the money, continuing our conversations about how to combat poverty in the community, how to make just life a little easier for the people out there. And one way to do it is student loan debt forgiveness. Student loans are probably one of the most common debts just hanging over the head of Americans across the country, but actually mostly African-American women, if I'm not mistaken, have the most student loan debt in the country. So that's my Dukes, a lot of people's mothers, a lot of families still dealing with student loan debts. And we're talking about $300, $400, $500, sometimes up to $600, $700 payments a month. If that could be forgiven, if that could be wiped away, that's definitely going to help a lot of families, be able to afford a few other things, maybe some housing, maybe a better car so they don't have to pay for repairs all the time. Just making life a little easier. And things are actually looking up. On Wednesday, President Biden announced a sweeping effort to forgive up to 20,000. Again, initially it was 10,000 that was reported, and now 20,000 of federal student loan debt for Pell Grant recipients. Paul. Yeah, same here. Biden also extended federal student loan payment pause through December 30th or 31st. So again, for those who are not paying because of the pandemic, and recently I think it was set to the end in May, and then they pushed it back to October, and now they're pushing it back to December, which is good news. In a statement, or actually in a tweet on Wednesday, President Biden said, in keeping with my campaign promise, okay, that's what we like to see, my administration is announcing a plan to give working and middle-class families breathing room as they prepare to resume federal student loan payments on January 2023. Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona said in a statement, today we're delivering targeted relief that will help ensure borrowers are not placed in a worse position financially because of the pandemic and restore trust in a system that should be creating opportunity, not a debt trap, which is definitely what it has been historically. Again, to qualify for the forgiveness, individual borrowers must earn less than $125,000 a year or less than $250,000 a year. For couples, to qualify for the $20,000 forgiveness, borrowers must meet those income requirements and must have received a Pell Grant in college. Pell Grants are designed to help low-income students pay for higher education. So I don't know about you, Paul, but I think I qualify. Not quite making 125 a year yet.
Right. I think
I'm gonna need to apply for that.
Most definitely.
Also, it's not just about the student loan forgiveness. There's also again the pause on the payment and some changes to the loans. Some changes to the loan interest rates. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. Again, there will be a cap on interest rates, and then also there will be a change to when they will be able to add interest to your principal, and that will basically stop it. I believe there's no interest allowed to be added until you make your first payment.
Okay.
And again, interest kills most people
for
more
sure.
than the principal.
Let's give it to the chat. You guys got any comments, any thoughts on this? And while we're waiting on your chat, we're going to bring in our special guest that's going to come in and talk about it today. Ladies and gentlemen, Whittney Richardson is in the house.
Hey.
Good morning. Good morning to you. How are you this morning?
I am happy. I am very happy.
Oh, good. What is making you so happy this morning?
Yeah.
Some good news from the Biden administration.
Okay.
Something for working families. Yeah, I'm happy. I will say that I have been a critic of the Biden administration. And so I like to give credit when it's due. So, this is something good. I like to see targeted action for working class families and not just corporations and rich people. So this is good. I'm happy about this.
Seems like Biden has had a lot of wins lately with a lot of bills that he's been signing in. When it comes to the money, it's like the old white dude can go get the money. Is what it kind of seems like. We expect that out of him, and that's what's going on a little bit. So, so first of all, before we get going, I'm glad that you're happy. I'm glad you're telling us what you're happy about. Let the people know who you are and some of your background and what it is that you do as well too. So, we have Whittney on because we've been talking politics with her, like behind the scenes. She's definitely kind of an analyst here with us, and we're hoping to talk to her even more. Tell the people what you do.
So by trade, I'm actually a lawyer. So I practiced in real estate for about 2 years, doing real estate transactions, commercial real estate and residential. And then after that, I practiced for 2 more years as a banking lawyer. So we represented a lot of these big bad banks. I did a little bit of low income housing, real estate work in that role as well. And now I'm actually circling back to my first love of politics, as you mentioned, Paul. I'm a political junkie.
Okay.
I would follow everything on Twitter, and I've kind of been that way my whole life. So I'm trying to get more into my political analyst kind of role, and really with the goal of highlighting things that the media doesn't always cover, and really advocating for stuff like this that advances anti-poverty and puts money in people's pockets, and relieves some of the financial burdens for poor people, marginalized people, and communities that look like mine. So
Yeah.
just a little bit about me.
I'm with that. We appreciate that. Appreciate you having you on with your expertise and the conversations that we're having behind the scenes on politics. It's been strong. So it's good to have somebody on that's paying attention to these things. Now I know you dug
Yep.
deep into what's going on with this student loan situation. You got some things you want to share with us on that?
I did. As I said, I'm a lawyer. This affects me personally, so that's another reason why I'm happy. So
Yeah, those law school loans. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Expensive,
yes,
expensive.
yes. So on Wednesday, like you said, Buddy, on Wednesday, the Department of Education and the White House announced a debt cancellation plan, which this was kind of a long-awaited decision. And we were on a student loan pause already, which was set to expire in a number of days. So we've kind of been waiting around on this decision. And so finally on Wednesday, President Biden and the White House made the decision that for borrowers that make an income of less than $125,000 that did not receive the Pell Grant, they would receive student loan cancellation up to $10,000. And so for borrowers that have an income below $125,000 that did receive the Pell Grant, they will receive up to $20,000 in student loan cancellation. So, with the income cap being at $125,000, obviously this was to target borrowers with low incomes. And what a lot of people don't realize is it's not just college graduates, but a lot of people go to college and get loans and don't actually finish.
Right.
And so, this is, a really big deal from the White House. And so to get in a little bit more of the specifics, this was a 3-part plan. So in addition to the debt cancellation for Pell Grant recipients and non-Pell Grant recipients, there are also new income-driven repayments. So with the current income-driven repayment plans, is based on your income. And with the current rate, they can make you pay no more than 10% of your discretionary income. And so on yesterday, there was actually a provision added that they can make you pay no more than 5% of your discretionary income. And per the White House, this is aimed to cut the monthly payments in half. So this is really good to alleviate debt from borrowers, that got degrees and didn't get degrees and the like. And then also, there was already a public service student loan forgiveness program that is in place. And so under the new rules, you don't currently have to be working in public service. If you worked in public service in the past, then you can also apply for student loan forgiveness. And so this is, the 3-part plan from the Biden administration. Like you said before, this was one of the campaign promises. And there were a lot of, Democratic candidates, and Biden was a nominee. And so I like to see this promise. I like that this promise was kept, so because we didn't know how he was going to go. Biden can be a little fiscally conservative, but
right. I was getting a little worried that he's going to get out of office before he made good on this promise here. So
likewise, and it's still a far fall from the original 50,000 that was kind of promoted. But I'll take a cool 20. I'll take a cool 20.
I got some thoughts on that.
let us know. What are your thoughts?
So my thing about this, first, let me get some figures. So one thing I'll say that I like that this was targeted to low and income borrowers. And I also like that this was targeted to Black borrowers. Like, as you said before, Black women and Black students take out more student loan debt. And that's in line with low income, the racial wealth gap. Of course, we would need more money to, borrow for school. And per the Biden administration, nearly all Pell Grant recipients come from families that make less than $60,000.
Right.
And so I like the idea of helping the people with the least amount of resources first. And then there was a study done by the Urban Institute that said that Black students disproportionately receive Pell Grants more than white students. And so one of the things that they said was that in order to really target relief to Black students, they put in the Pell Grant provision because most Black students receive Pell Grants. And so, Pell Grants are based on income and your household income. So again, with lower incomes, that's going to be more, Black students. And so I'm glad to see sweeping action to target low income families, families from poverty, and also Black students and Black women. At the same time, at the same time, the White House was kind of going in on Twitter last night because, of course, the Republicans are clapping back and, they're like,
Right.
oh, you're trying to buy votes ahead of the midterms. And so the White House, which I like to see them take more of an aggressive stance. The White House Twitter account was like retweeting like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And they're like, all of you people received these PPP loans that were forgiven in their totality. And per the White House tweets, Marjorie Taylor Greene, her company, she received a PPP loan of about $180,000 that was forgiven in full. I think we remember the airlines. A lot of the airlines, received these PPP loans with the intent and purpose of paying their workers and keeping afloat during the pandemic. A lot of them laid off workers, and still received the money and still receive those debts discharged. So while this is a great first step, it is keeping with the campaign promise. It just kind of begs the question of, why when it comes to working families, low income borrowers, why does there have to be a cap? I'm looking at Marjorie Taylor Greene like she didn't vote for y'all. I did. And that $180,000 will wipe out all my law school debt. But it's not about me. But, I just think, and again, with regards to all the money that we're throwing at Ukraine, so I don't, why I'm glad about this. I would like to see more aggression and more targeted action and more grace giving to working class people, poverty stricken people, marginalized communities. If there's more than enough money for the Pentagon, for Ukraine, and for PPP loans to be canceled, then, why not take it a step further? And so this is a great first plan. Again, I'm happy to see it. I saw a lot of people saying yesterday, some people had their debt completely wiped out and a lot of people were celebrating. And I'm happy, again, happy to see that. But again, I would like to see more, especially ahead of midterm elections. And especially, I think over the past few years, the Democratic Party has kind of, during election time, people are like, well, what's the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans? And I think by Democrats getting more strategic on providing things for working class families, they can get away from being known as like the party of corporations and, kind of like this kind of like corporate kind of like what's the difference between them, and Republicans. So
now, I've definitely got the sense over the years that Democrats, although they try to appear like they're doing and working for working class people, I just kind of get the sense, especially for the Black vote, quote unquote, there's a lot of pandering. I kind of feel like it's a lot of pandering, especially. I'm sorry, I'm never gonna let Hillary Clinton talk about she got hot sauce in her purse on the Breakfast Club. Like, come on, man, the Kunta Kinte clause. So come on, man, stop it.
Hey, Billy Clinton used to play a horn back on the Arsenio Hall show back in the day. They was this great family. They've been doing this pandering for a minute.
Come on, man.
They have, and it's low key insulting. Pander when it comes to the pockets. Put some money in people's pockets. Raise the minimum wage, like you guys were talking before. Like I want to, even though the White House was clapping back on the tweets yesterday, I'm like, well, if y'all canceled all these PPP loans, then why is there a cap with respect to borrowers? But I really think there needs to be a value shift in terms of how we view people, because it's a lot of blaming out there, and you shouldn't take out this debt if you can't pay it back and this and that. And, who has a check to write $100,000 for, education? It's the means by which we create new lives for ourselves, especially Black folks. And that's what they tell us, but we shouldn't have to go into debt to do it. And so
there you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump into the chat real quick. Along the lines of what you were talking about, Jillian Post said, get rid of that interest rate altogether, and it would make a huge difference. Also, I make under 25,000 at 61. He says, long story, pandemic related. Shouldn't really low income earners get more relieved? So that's a good thing too. There are people that are making way less than 60,000 a year or whatever that limit was.
125.
100. No, but they were saying if you get the Pell Grant, it was because you were making under I can't remember what the number was. It was somewhere around under 60,000 or something like that in order even to qualify for the Pell Grant in the first place.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, the point is that there's people that are making way less, 25,000 a year, 20,000. No, a lot of people making 20,000 a year, 19,000 a year. That and to your point as well, you don't necessarily have a degree. If you have a loan, you got a student loan. You can have a student loan and didn't finish school, or you could have a student loan and are not working in your field, even with a
Yep.
degree. There's a lot of things
Yep.
that can happen there. Also jumping into the chat, Brianna Full says Jim Pillen is going against the student loan forgiveness, but got 800,000 in PPP loans for his
Come on.
business forgiven.
Come on.
Yes.
Also,
Go ahead.
really quick, I was gonna mention. You said you worked with banks. I'm sure you've seen some of these stimulus packages that these banks were receiving as well. So it's money out there. It's money out there. It's just not for the little people.
Very, very true.
Absolutely. And one thing I will say with regard to the interest and low income borrowers. And so one of the things under the new plan is before they would forgive balances if you pay your monthly payment over 20 years. Now it's going to be 10 years. And then with regard to the interest, so as long as you make your payments, the U.S. Department of Education will cover your unpaid monthly interest. And so it says no borrower's loan balance will grow as long as they make their monthly payments, even when that monthly payment is zero because the income is low. And so with regard to one of the chat chimers, there are provisions that if your income is low, then you will qualify for a zero payment. So I do think that is, a really good provision for, I think when I first graduated, because the year before I wasn't working, so I had a zero payment, in the beginning. So, and then one more thing that I'll say is, I do think the income cap is a little bit low. I think $125,000 per individual is a lot more money than a lot of people have, right? But I look at a group of people that, everybody may not have sympathy for, but I think of first generation Black and brown lawyers and doctors who we take out student loans to go to law school. And especially when the Black community, that person that is the one that makes it, it's not just $125,000 for you. You're supporting your grandmother, you're supporting your cousins. And also, we may make higher incomes, but I always say we have a house, we have a mortgage without a house. And so I would like to see, again, Marjorie Taylor Greene and all of these Republicans who, have all this access to resources. I would like to see the income cap a little bit higher. Because in high incomes don't equate to wealth. Wealth is different from a high income. And so I would like to see, higher incomes. But again, I like that this was targeted to the people at the bottom, but I think it should be the first of many steps and not just,
Yeah, I think that I'm feeling both. This should be applauded. It's really going to help a lot of people. We can't take away the fact that it needs to be more in that comment though as well. So I'm definitely that's what the kind of show this is too. We will hold both ideas around.
Both can be true at the same time. Both can be true.
Yes.
Really quickly, I did want to pay some bills. It is 9:03 or 8:03 if you believe in the concept of time. 9:03 here in Atlanta. And I don't know what time if you're in the West Coast, but big shout out to you for tuning in with us out
in
there.
the morning still.
Man. But you are tuned in to First Sky Omaha in the morning. You got actually getting some love from Kimmer in the chat. She says, "Who is this? She's brilliant." I got back late, so again, wanted to remind the people we are on the line with Miss Whittney Richardson, talking politics.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Von Chapman in the chat says the tax credits given the rich were called a stimulus. It wasn't. While the student loan forgiveness is bad.
Right.
Also, Tanaya Patterson says is giving us a list of the PPP hypocrites: Marjorie Taylor Greene, 183,500; Matt Getz, 476,000. So go down the list there. Really interesting stuff. Also, Kimmer said this will be a life changing for me. Student loan debt is literally my only debt. And one of the people who never finished college, I had to quit after my hospitalization. I have a little over 15,000 in loans and also qualified for Pell Grants at that time period. So personal example there of exactly who this is geared towards, and that will really, really help. Juana Lewis says they don't bother you with student loans until you finish or quit school, then get harassed.
Yeah. Yep.
Jillian Post also says, wow, if folks don't know the difference between the Republican and Democratic platform at voting time, they need poli-sci class. Also, Marianne Williams in the house. I want to thank you especially for putting so many of the articles into Friends of First Sky Omaha that we are talking about today. She says this plan is good, though. 90% of the money is going to folks who make less than $75K, and the stats released yesterday say 20 million borrowers are now educated debt free. It's a great first step. I agree. Great first step. Should be applauded. Needs to be more. And let it be that. Let it be a first step. So there's a second one coming.
Definitely.
I agree. And can I say? Oh, sorry.
I just want to applaud you on your point in making the connection as far as what impact that won't just have on the individuals with the loans, but their families. Actually, this whole student loan forgiveness has been, or just the idea of wiping student loans on a mass level has been given and connected to the reparations conversation. So we can't leave that out. This is like we're saying, this is a first step in that direction. So I definitely appreciate you for putting that in context.
Yes, and I wanted to say, if the U.S. Department of Education already has your information, then the cancellation will be automatic. Okay. But if you haven't done FAFSA or anything in the last few years, you can go to the U.S. Department of Education and subscribe for updates. And when they put up an application for you to apply, for people who've been out of school for years, when you sign up for those updates, you'll be the first to get that application to apply. So if they already have your information, it's automatic. If not, just go to the U.S. Department of Education and they will, give you updates and apply as soon as they have it up.
Good info. I was going to ask about that. How do we know? What I was going to say, I was going to spend the afternoon digging in today to see if I can get my stuff taken care of. Well, Buddy has this link we'll put here in the chat.
It's the fact check from the White House.
Yes.
There you go. Yes. So Rick is asking, when will they start? Also, Marianne Williams is saying this also helps parents who have taken out Parent Plus loans, which I just learned about from Precious the other day.
Yes.
Help their
students. Mama God.
Right. So that's a good point too. Parent Plus loans are getting some help. How long out of school is Mama God asking? How long you got to be out?
There are no provisions on out of school.
You got a loan.
You got a loan. It has to be a loan from the U.S. Department of Education, though. So no private loans or anything.
That did come up as well. That did come up as well.
Yeah. No matter how long you've been out.
Yeah.
There you go.
Appreciate the information, the deeper dive into this for sure. Because I was dreading, like I said, I was going to take the afternoon off and deep dive myself to figure this out for me. But you've answered a whole lot of questions for me today.
Yeah. No, I appreciate. First of all, I enjoy meeting you and having you on the show. I appreciate your input and definitely look forward to having you back. You kind of talked yourself into some work. We're definitely gonna have you back. So we appreciate you.
I would be glad. I love this show. I love the chat chimers. I love the perspective. So I appreciate y'all for having me.
Thank you.
I'd be glad to be back.
For sure.
Before we let you go, tell us something else that's on your mind. The next thing that you're about to dig into and get passionate about, because you always got something going. So what you got next?
So I am, instead of just live tweeting my opinions, I'm starting a podcast that's going to launch in the middle of September, and it's going to be about the past, the present, and the future of the government. So it's going to be called Political Evolution, and we're going to do, deep dives, kind of like this one, on the Supreme Court, the history of the Supreme Court, things like the racial wealth gap, and, history that isn't always, put on the news. And we're going to talk about, the news cycle, the election cycle, and just kind of unpack things from a perspective that's not sanitized from the news. And again, with a focus on poor communities, marginalized communities, Black folk. I'm a Black woman from the South, so, I'm unapologetic about advocating for my community. That's and so, if you want some of that, then I'll be announcing it soon. So I'm excited.
Okay. We definitely can't wait to partner with you on some of these things and swap some information back and forth and draw people to your podcast. You draw people to ours. We'll have some synergy going on for sure. So we really appreciate that.
Yep.
Black and Black says, go ahead, buddy.
I did have one last question before we get out of here, because when we come back in the next upcoming hour, pardon so, we're going to be talking about the Republican Party and some things that we're seeing recently, and I just want to get your thoughts on Herbster's new PAC and what that might mean for the landscape in Nebraska. Again, we're seeing a lot of conservatives getting very, very active lately.
I read about that yesterday. I think he was one of the candidates for governor who,
Yep.
didn't make it. And, it's along with the theme of follow the money because he's pouring money into it. And so, the only thing I have to say is like we have to be ready. We have to be ready for whatever he's coming against, whatever he's coming with. And, I really hope that we can, educate voters and kind of come with a offensive strategy because
Yep.
one thing about the Republicans, they don't have morals. You can't shame them. They will stoop low. They will lie. They don't believe in facts and science. I'm not going to go in, but that's just how I
but it's
feel.
all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, so we have to be ready, but I'll say I'm not scared of them. Like they're reacting, a lot of their stuff is out of fear because they know they're
Yeah.
outnumbered. They saw that last election, black folks in Georgia, record turnouts. They know that they're going to be outnumbered, so they may be, winning some battles, but it's still changes to be made and victories to be had. So
Yeah. Remember, for those of you that don't that have forgotten, Herbster was Trump's choice. He did not win. Pillin is the one that won, but it's interesting to see Herbster's name back out there because if he's not going to win, he's going to back a whole bunch of ridiculousness with some money because that's what they do. So,
there
it is.
We have to watch that, yeah, because I saw he might be trying to come for the unicameral legislature, which I'm like,
we'll be getting. Hey, just continue watching the next hour.
I'll be in the
chat.
Appreciate you. Thanks a lot. Amy Huffle says thank you. Yes, come on back. They're giving you some amen. Thank you so much. Very informative. Blackity Black says. Everybody's co-signing on you being on here this morning. So we appreciate you coming and we knew you'd be a hit as soon as you came on. So that's what's up.
Thank y'all. I appreciate that.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
Peace.
There you go.
What's up? Whittney Richardson, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a quick break. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B.
In the morning.
Paul B.
Stepping on my jingle, man. Come on.
My bad. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Much more to talk about. Thanks for everybody in the chat that's enjoying putting their 2 cents in. We love all the 2 cents.
Oh yeah. Adds up to $1.
Oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you, the chat chimers, join us on Twitter if you so inclined. People seem to like what we're doing over there on Twitter. I've gotten a lot of comments that says they like the increased activity on Twitter. Okay. So we're definitely over on Twitter making it happen as well. I guess that's where a lot of people talk about the news, find the news, and so on and so forth. So we're broadcasting live on Twitter on Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the mornings. And you can check out some of the tweets that we are trying to drop more of all day long with some of the headlines, some of the things we talked about, some of the things that the chat chimers say during the show as well. So we can kind of give people some perspectives and things like that. So yeah, definitely check us out. First Sky Omaha, the Twitter page. We appreciate that very much. People like Whittney Richardson is on pages like that. That's kind of like the political news kind of home, and then of course there's Black Twitter, which we are definitely loving.
It's a thing.
Got a good morning from Zane. What's going on, dude?
Hey, the dude.
What's happening, my brother? What's going on? I hope you're doing good. I'm doing good. We're both feeling better, so it's time to go hang out and do some things. So I'll see you soon. Jillian Post says, I moved back to Nebraska from New Jersey to care for my mom. That's kind of the story for a lot of us that have moved back to Nebraska for family. Blue state back to redder than red state. Herbster is one creepy mofo.
Man. Yeah. We often kind of laugh at his pictures, man. Just I don't know.
I mean, and then don't forget, because he was like being accused of harassment and stuff like that from against him. Yeah, so yeah, he's
real grab him by the parts kind of guy.
Definitely Trump endorsed.
Yes,
one creepy cat. Yeah. Interesting stuff about that. As a matter of fact, why don't we go ahead and jump in and talk a little bit about
man, because he just won't go away quietly. Again, Herbster, if you're not familiar, ran for the Republican slate for governor and lost to Jim Pillin, as we like to call him around here. But he's not going away. Again, the latest news is the creation of this political action committee that is set to promote traditional Christian conservative values, quote unquote, in Nebraska politics. This announcement was just made just yesterday. And he is not only forming but funding, as Sister Whittney Richardson just mentioned, this whole political action committee. Again, who was a runner-up and also the Trump choice for Nebraska governor. He's a businessman from Falls City. He has actually made sizable donations to Republican candidates over the year, and even funded his own campaign. I believe large, like 80%, 90% of his $4.6 million that he raised from his campaign came from his own funds. So he has the money, and of course, as we've seen in past elections, that can sway things, or at least put certain candidates in front of a substantially larger amount of potential voters. So this is definitely something to watch out for. I checked out the website, and two of their biggest things is, one, gun control is trying to push this whole constitutional carry and again make Nebraska yet another gun state, following suit of the likes of here in Georgia, Texas, things like that. But also they are trying to change the unicameral and how the unicameral votes for seats. And I forget the actual position, but there's a anonymous vote through the unicameral, and they're trying to make that a public vote. Those are the kind of the two main things that they're pushing for.
Interesting. What say you in the chat? Definitely want your viewpoint on what's going on here. I always have this inclination to feel like I don't get nervous when people start putting packs together and dumping a whole bunch of money into stuff, because I feel like if it's a personal thing for me, because I won't be swayed by some commercial, because really all the money that they put into this stuff supports these candidates going around shaking people's hands, putting commercials out, putting
flyers.
And if I don't already am I not already about you, you're not gonna sway me because I met you in person and we shook hands. Like for people that are getting swayed by flyers and mailers, first of all, I really don't think they are. I think that it's just it reinforces what they were already going to do when they see so much material. But there may be people out there that are getting swayed by the material, and I just in the commercial, and I just I feel like I just have I have a hard time having respect for that. People need to go seek out what it is that they're trying to find in a candidate, and hopefully it matches up to their values, your values, and this is what you're looking at.
Come on, man.
Those are thinkers, though.
Come on, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Come on, it don't work like that, man. We already know people go down the ballot, whatever name that they're familiar. That's why we're doing what we're doing, because we're trying to create informed voters. Like, there are some people who go out of their way to be informed, but the majority of people, like we were told, some people, I like bacon, I'll sign for that. It's like,
That was an anomaly. I think that I think that we're treating that too flippantly. I don't think people are just, oh, that's a nice commercial, I'm going to vote for that person. I think that there's messages that are being sent out in those commercials. There's dog whistling. There's all kinds of stuff that are already touching parts of people that are already deciding to vote that way or go that way with what they're trying to do. That stuff that they send out just reinforces it. But anyway, the point is, because if that's the case, then say like Tony Vargas is raised a bunch of money too, and he's sending out flyers and sending out stuff everywhere. You think Tony Vargas is swaying anybody who would vote for a Republican with his flyers and commercials?
Actually,
I don't know.
The Reader actually is funny you said that. The Reader in El Puerto Rico they're going to do actually an article looking at that very thing. Looking at that very thing and looking at, is the money that he's basically the question is, can Tony Vargas do what Carl Eastman couldn't?
Very
so you might stand corrected, man. You might stand corrected. We don't know as far as that. But I can't go as far as saying this money isn't going to make a difference.
Well, I'm not saying it's not going to make a difference. It's definitely going to make a difference. But the fight doesn't change because he's dumping a bunch of money in. I don't think that anybody who already thinks he's a weirdo Trumper is going to be swayed by any of his, like, who is he? Is he just pandering to his own like, what is he? What's he doing exactly with this PAC? What is this PAC supposed to accomplish?
So the PAC, there's two pledges that he's asking legislators and lawmakers and candidates to sign to or agree to. One is to make all of their leadership votes public, which goes to the unicameral system, which allows secret balloting for chair positions for the parties, and then to vote to change the rules of the legislature to make all votes public record, and then also to push the constitutional carry. That's exactly what they're doing, is pushing constitutional carry. And that's kind of my main thing is remember this, it's not the commercials and mailers that I'm worried about. It's the support to candidates like that sheriff candidate out of Lancaster who's talking about he's going to deputize all of these citizens. If there's now a PAC that could pour millions of dollars into his campaign, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a problem.
Very true. Very true. Although, like I said, I don't. Well, yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, it's something that we have to watch. But even like, Whittney Richardson was just on saying she's still not worried about these people. You know what I'm saying? Like in a way, it's weak to have to dump millions of dollars into your campaign. To me, it's weak. You know what I'm saying? It's a weak move. It's just
I kind of agree, but I kind of want you to say why. Why do you think that's a weak move?
Well, because you have to. It's almost because you are like almost literally buying the votes at that point. Like you're like it ain't, nobody is seeking you out. I always go back to this idea of because I'm a musician, because of being in the music the way I was. Herbster is like that cat that Herbster is like radio music. You turn on the radio, it gets served to you, whatever popular thing is. Now you know all the lyrics because you hear it over and over again at work, and now you kind of like the song because it got pushed on you. That's different than a Prince fan that goes and digs deep for bootleg records and then likes a song on the B side. You know what I'm saying? Like that's different than a cat that's going out seeking out the funk that he wants to have and represent him. It's a difference between you caring about what it is that you're about and you just following the crowd. So how many people out here, so what they're doing is betting on people following the crowd every time they dump a bunch of money in this stuff. That's kind of what I'm thinking, except that when I think of like what Tony Vargas is doing, he has to battle these cats. He has to battle them with the same amount of money to do the same kind of thing. For who? For what? We already didn't want who he's running against, and so we you know what I'm saying, so we're gonna go for Vargas anyway. He didn't have to spend $1 on my vote. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you're also aware. You're also aware and actively kind of having these conversations. What about the average lay person who just goes to work, go home, feed the kids, and repeat?
and don't know. But why would you go vote if you have no information at all on who to vote for or what
Why
to do?
wouldn't you go vote?
Just to go fill in bubbles when you have no information at all? Like,
We're told that's our civic duty.
they go in. I think that when people get apathetic about it, they just don't go. They don't vote, and they don't have anything to do with it. I don't think they just go there because it's their civic duty and fill in bubbles of people that they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you think that's
if they're voting, they know who they're voting for. They know something about it.
That's why we exist, y'all. We're trying to raise their awareness, trying to inform everyone, man. Trying to inform as many people as possible. That's why we ask you to tell a friend, because that is true. I mean, there's 80% of the voter base doesn't vote in North Omaha. Isn't that what we're looking at? Like a 20%, 15% outcome? Am I mistaken?
I can't remember the figures on that, but I do remember being really low. The turnout being low. Big time. Maybe that's what it is. It's just reminding, getting people who are already going to vote that way to remind them to vote. Who knows? I'm gonna jump in the chat real quick because it's getting pretty lengthy. Marianne Williams up top says Herbster's traditional values equals Christian nationalism. I grew up in the church and we had very different traditional values.
Yeah.
Interesting comment. Jillian Post says if campaign finance laws were drastically reformed, wouldn't it be a very different voting experience? Yes, I would like to see that. I'd like to see some caps on stuff. I want these PACs to go away. Brianna Poole says all the Dem leaders were telling us not to worry about the new leadership change in the Nebraska GOP because they don't have any funding. But with the new PAC that Herbster and friends are funding, that they have the money to get dangerous legislation passed, policymakers into office.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm not bringing this story up to say worry, but be aware of what we should be asking our senators and Lincoln to fight against.
Back in the chat, Whittney Richardson says, all the Trump signs I see when I drive outside of Omaha, those are the people, and they may be a lost cause. Yeah, they're already going for it. Marianne Williams says, I think the old any GOP leaders had the same end goals as the new. They're just less transparent. The big red flags have always been though. Yeah, for sure. Christy Norris says, yes, they run mind game. They are very literal. Very interesting. Also, going down the line a little bit, Wanda Lewis says, we still have to worry about the Dinos, Democrats and name only perpetrators. Definitely thoughts to hold on to there for sure. Jillian posted, good God, read, pay attention, be informed. Please don't glance at the stupid flyer and think that's your best candidate. Resist the money. I have a hard time respecting folks that just looked at the flyer. This is a nice American flag on this flyer. He looks like a good solid white man. I'll just vote for him. Now they already know what they're doing. Mama God said, unfortunately, we all don't vote based on being informed. They vote based on candidates that are supported by others in their circle, which is a form of being informed. They're informing them about who they should be voting for in their circle, and they do, and that's why the money works to me, is because it pushes the marketing of it more than anything else. You got to dump a bunch of think about what we're doing and how we haven't dumped $1 into marketing. This has all been word of mouth.
This is true, y'all. This is true.
There's value being provided here, and there's people that are saying that this is valuable, and people that are coming back through. We haven't bought one flyer, one commercial on TV, nothing. So if our show is so weak that we got to start dumping a bunch of money in it just to get people to watch it, just to people to find some, what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it's a weak move. Whittney Richardson said, I think we need to let folks know the benefit of voting, like vote for Vargas for higher wages or something like that. Right. If you are spending money on your campaign and showing people what it is that you stand for, you getting the message out, like Biden got the message out that he's going to be canceling student debt. So like so everybody heard that, and that reinforced what they were probably already going to do, which was vote for this. If you're a Democrat, you're already probably going to vote for Biden, but this just reinforced it because he's talking about some of his issues. Maybe it swayed a few other people that said, hey, I like those issues that he's on. Maybe that was on the fence. Maybe it swayed him. I don't know. But back in the chat, Von Chapman says most Democrats and independents have made up their mind on issues that directly affect them, while Herbster is trying to influence the Republicans who are on the fence. Okay,
like what you're just saying.
Yeah. Christy North says, I have voted during major elections and not known anything about the down ballot, but voted. I do my homework now.
Hey,
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all have been guilty of voting of not really knowing everybody, or every judge and everybody that's been on the down ballot, of course. But like at the same time, we ain't gonna accidentally vote for Pillin when we get
right.
in.
Out of ignorance.
Marianne Williams says the money is huge. Okay, she says they have the money to put mailers filled with lies in front of people who don't pay attention, which I guess is a lot of people.
Right.
I think it's more about trying to influence the fence sitters. Pop says, yeah.
Like you said.
Maybe it's being lazy. I don't know, but I have been voting for nearly 40 years and know for a fact many vote on name familiarity and not platforms. Mama
I'm saying, man, it's a lot more of the I like bacon voters out there.
Yeah, but like I said, man, I think the I like bacon voters are I mean, there's the style that Bacon is already putting forth. All you got to do is know that Bacon's a Republican, and then if you're going to vote Republican, you're going to vote Republican. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Same thing. Democrats do the same thing. If you're Democrat, you're going to vote Democrat.
And that goes back to the dog whistling that you were saying. Like, they with this pack, like they know their demographic. They see the Christian conservatives, the moms going to it's almost like a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, you put out some propaganda, you put out some political, media, and then the public responds, and then you respond to that public. So that, like, they're feeding the base. So
yeah,
a lot of people are right. People kind of, if you're already paying attention, you have your mind made up. You're already paying attention. You have your mind made up, and you're looking for the candidate that already aligns with what you have already decided. It's the fence sitters. It's the fence sitters. So
it wouldn't. And I'm sitting here thinking about it. If they wouldn't put all this money in if it didn't work. They wouldn't keep on upping that money if it didn't. Josh Tex says Carol Blood is easily the most relatable candidate for governor in my lifetime.
That's Jillian Post asked us what do we think of Carol Blood. I think we need some new blood.
Definitely. You guys have been going in great on the chat. Really appreciate that. One more, Sean McCarthy in the house. What's happening? He says, yeah, a lot of the ballot slots that directly affect you do not have an R or D next to them. So it's really easy to vote for someone who totally doesn't represent your values if you just see two names to select from. Yeah. Very true. I guess if there was more information or commercials out, it'd be in your mind more who's who and what's what. So Pop says there's many reasons for voting as there are people. That's true. Von Chapman says, is it safe for us to just vote along party lines? Yep. I don't know.
I would say no.
Yeah, I never would. I don't think that's safe for sure. It's in the end, it always comes down to who's the lesser evil, which makes it hard to even think about voting a lot of times.
Right.
Like, why would you if that's the choices?
Right.
Moving along, 8:33 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, interesting conversation. We'll definitely keep talking about it. Let me get one more. Whittney Richardson is saying the PAC could also be to influence legislation, not just votes. There you go. So we have to watch the judges and legislators and have as much influence as the PAC.
And that's the important part too. Not just like you said, putting in money behind campaigns, but again, they're asking legislators to sign a pledge. So yes, this is definitely an attempt, which I think is actually more dangerous even than the campaigns and the voting and the backing of the candidates. So I'm definitely appreciative that you mentioned that, Sister Richardson. But also to that note, I was looking for a comment. Somebody mentioned something about Republicans not being as transparent about what they're doing, and I forget the comment, but I want to dive into this next story from the Nebraska governor talking about these tweets. And because we're talking about legislation, talking about policy, and this PAC could definitely go, again, think Christian conservative values. This PAC can definitely go towards some of the movement. That's the word I'm looking for, that we've been seeing on these school boards across the state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Recently, Nebraska GOP Grand Old Party tweeted out some things that is tied to and alluding to a broader conservative push on schools to ban books and to get in front of their sex ed standards. Again, there's a lot of hoopla about Nebraska trying to change its sex ed standards, and there was some, behind the scenes actions that led to that ultimately falling on its face. And now, just recently, controversy erupted after Nebraska Grand Old Party posted sexually explicit images from an LGBTQ themed graphic novel resemble what followed organized efforts in other states to motivate conservative parents to vote. So again, we can definitely see some PAC money going towards something like that. I believe it was Matt Wynn on Monday that told us about this mind polluters documentary that's going around. That's what this is about. That's exactly what this is about.
They're trying to act like teachers are teaching kids. They're teaching kids how to have sex, or they're either grooming them to be like sex slaves and all kinds of crazy notions.
Yeah, that was the word. And again, all of this energy and all of this commotion is coming out of these conservative Christian, organizations, which are being backed by these Republicans and PACs like what we just saw with what we're seeing with Herbster.
Deep. Amy Huffless in the chat says Republicans want this blasé attitude. They do not want us to vote. Don't give them that. People sacrifice so much for our right to be able to vote. We should honor that. I know as soon as we moved here from Puerto Rico, you better believe we didn't miss an opportunity to participate. Yeah, because they don't give you all opportunity to participate over there in Puerto Rico, right?
No.
Can't vote there.
Can't do anything, but it's still like a united. It's still a state
territory, right?
Yeah,
it's
territory.
Not a state. Yeah, yeah, deep stuff, man. Deep.
And I want to lay it out further, man, because it's not just paying for mailers. It's not just influencing legislation. This is a very, very insidious takeover of our democracy. A very, very insidious takeover of our democracy, and it's all towards the end. I'm looking for the post. One of the chat chimers shared this on the Friends of First Sky page. But basically it's Republicans and conservatives talking about basically asking and saying that too many people have the vote.
Yeah, if the founding fathers didn't have, if they thought that 18-year-olds was going to vote, then they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
Yeah, here it is. Jesse Kelly tweeted. Shout out to Marianne Williams for posting this on Friends of First Sky Omaha on Facebook. And it was a response to I guess a blogger named Matt Walsh. Says, I say again that way too many people are allowed to vote. If you told the founding fathers that anyone who lives to the age of 18 will be allowed to vote, they would have surrendered to the British on the spot. It's insane to allow everyone to decide who governs the nation. Impossible to keep a free society that way. And then that actually just reminds me, when I looked at the PAC website, it mentioned something about qualified voters. And I'm coupling this with the idea of these militias.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coupling that with this conservative sheriff talking about he's going to deputize citizens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coupling this with the news of Omaha Police Department doing this gear swap with Tactical 88, again sending helmets and armor plates and things like that to Tactical 88. For what? What are they preparing for? To me, this all smells, and again, this is just me. This is just Buddi3 Da Gawd using his 5 senses and trying to read the writing on the wall. It's smelling like they are preparing for a hostile takeover. Mm-hmm. When you have, again, the power to dictate and the will and the desire to dictate who votes and who does, like who's a qualified voter? Who should have the vote if everyone shouldn't? And what are you willing to do to ensure that those who you feel shouldn't vote aren't voting? It is not just, the moving of the mailboxes. It's not just the moving of the polling places. It's not just the changing of legislation in the voter ID polls. It's also these militias, man.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling like, we're not far from some actors attempting to achieve their political aims through violence.
Well, I think they're already doing it. We're hearing about these mass shooters and these incidents and stuff that's going around all over the place. Those are the canaries in the coal mine. Going in, testing out the waters to see what the responses are going to be and what they're going to get charged with, and so on and so forth. I think they're already starting. Along the lines of what you're talking about too, Wanda Lewis says, don't forget that enough petition signatures was collected to put voter ID on the ballot. Stay woke on that issue. Marianne Williams says, I heard at least 3 politicians talking about qualified voters as Jim Crow voting policies again.
Again, who's a qualified voter? I thought the Constitution laid that out clearly.
It's we got to stay on top of this stuff, man. That's real.
Yeah, and again, I'm not putting this out to stroke fear or to cause worry, but be aware. Stay woke.
Yeah. 8:40 right now, if you believe in the concept of time and you see how it's moving right along, or how slow it goes or how fast it goes.
Yeah.
For sure, it's going fast today. Before we go to a break, Jillian Post says, can't stand bacon. No thanks on him. I could give you 100 legit reasons. Also, how the hell are we supposed to get Carol Blood elected? I want her to be the next governor of Nebraska. Even if you don't agree on everything Carol Blood is promoting, Jim Pillen will be a nightmare, and he's going to win. You thought Pete Ricketts was bad,
man?
Yeah, man. We looked into Pillen and Herbster when their names first got dropped, and we were like, these cats is worse than Pete Ricketts, which is saying a thing or two.
A lot. It's a mouthful.
Pop says the Electoral College was established because the founding fathers didn't think the average person had the sense to vote without their supervision and oversight. Interesting. So maybe that tweet had some merit to it. Mm-hmm. Von Chapman says, is the face of the stakeholder in North Omaha being changed, or is intentionally changing to reflect the will and desire of Republican mayor? This is good questions. We always are talking about these stakeholders that they're always talking to for everything, right? Sean McCarthy says, in terms of having an informed electorate, Pillen's refusal to debate only hurts in that I know most people have their minds made up by the time the debates come on, but you at least see each candidate's reaction outside of their own bubbles.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know about that, Carol Blood has been challenging Pillen to a debate for a long time. Pillen has been refusing.
Smoke.
Yeah. And he doesn't. He don't want the smoke because he thinks he's just going to easily slide on into the governorship.
He's ducking and dodging.
Right. And he's ducking and dodging being actually debated because he wouldn't be able to hang. Speaking of which, I know we're going to go to a break, but speaking of which, I just heard on the news this morning that Elon Musk company and I forgot the other company they're partnering with, the other entity they're partnering with, are about to start shooting satellite internet and phone lines to areas that don't have it. Remember, Carol Blood last year informed us that the internet was about to go into space. And I just heard this morning that the deal has been struck so they can start sending signals to areas that don't have strong signals or strong cellular, that they're going cellular first, so people can make calls if they're out in the middle of nowhere.
T-Mobile.
That's coming from the satellites.
And SpaceX and T-Mobile.
There you go, SpaceX and T-Mobile. So you'll be able to make calls from anywhere if you're out in the middle of the desert somewhere and there's no, because the satellites now will be shooting the signal down.
Okay.
These are some of these things. Carolyn Jackson said it's already being done. He's sent to Ukraine. Okay. It's just something that we heard. Every time we talk to Carol Blood, we learn something like this. And she's on top of things that are a year in advance. So very interesting stuff that we always are learning from her. And I would love to see her sit up there and just whoop him in a debate.
Man, dipping and ducking and dodging.
In a big, big way. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll
be Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you, the chat chimers, all of you, the ghost listeners, thanks for joining us. You can share the show if you're on Facebook. Give us a like and subscribe if you are on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter because we're gonna start doing some things going on.
Yeah, man.
We'll be right
tweeting
back. Stay tuned.
stuff.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yes, yes.
First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you, the chat timers. We got haps coming up here pretty soon, so get your haps ready for that.
What's
Talk about
happening?
what's going on this weekend, man. I think Rome's reviews is already out. He gave us have a blessed weekend, so appreciate that.
Yeah.
You as well if you're still listening.
Getting
And
some sleep.
yeah, man, that's going down for the weekend. Let's talk about what's happening. But before then, let's do a little lightning round, buddy.
Yeah. Got a couple more stories. Let's go ahead and breeze on through and continue our conversation, man. Again, talking about what's going on with these conservatives, these nationalists. Look out for it, man. And we kind of felt it, but shout out to the Southern Poverty Law Center. If you're not familiar, definitely check them out, splcenter.org. And this is from Hate Watch, which is a nonprofit that looks out for hate groups across the country. And they're kind of confirming or adding to what we felt. Again, the Omaha Police Department recently had a large gear swap with 88 Tactical to the tune of $3,000 worth of firearm equipment. That's what the Omaha Police Department received. But I'm finding out what 88 Tactical received was way more than $3,000. Apparently, they received 28 expired ballistic helmets and 28 rifle plates, which is roughly a value of $45,000. But the big issue is some relationships that 88 Tactical has, according to SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center. 88 Tactical brought out an anti-Muslim self-proclaimed national security advisor. This guy was apparently an ex-FBI agent who spews a lot of Islamophobia, a lot of anti-Muslim. He actually posted a text saying Muslims attacking America since 1801. Again, he was actually, as an FBI agent, one of the first ones to get ahead of the terrorist organizations and things like that. So a lot of questionable information messaging coming out from this guy. And again, he has been linked to 88 Tactical, and I was linked to the Omaha Police Department. So definitely looking more into that situation. But in other news, continuing with our gun conversation, a gunman in an Omaha active shooter drill is now finding himself in hot water. Yeah, this one is crazy. We can't make this up. Apparently, Catholic Charities hired this guy to have a shooter drill, and it's still unclear whether it was Catholic Charities and they're trying to blame it on this guy or if it was this guy's idea himself. But part of this drill included actors with like fake blood laying throughout the school. This guy was shooting blanks at employees. None of the employees were informed that this drill was coming. Definitely thought that they were being attacked, and now this guy is being faced with charges. And Catholic Charities, they're trying to deflect the blame, but there may be some lawsuits, maybe some charges. I know there was talk of terroristic threat charges being brought. So yeah,
bro, I'd be suing the Pope if that happened to me. If I worked there and all of a sudden they did an active shooter drill, this cat came in acting like he was a real shooter and was shooting blanks And
Man.
the PTSD, bro, like too far.
Yeah. Too far. You're doing too much. So yeah, there may be some extra suits coming from this. We'll definitely keep our eye on this situation.
Can you imagine what could have happened? First of all, who's the fool that went in and did that? We in Nebraska. Somebody might have had a gun shooting back at this fool.
And that's I'm glad you said that, because my mind went straight to, okay, what if we do have a sheriff that is deputizing citizens and they respond to a call like this? That's a slippery slope. That's not a good combination right there.
I mean, all the way around, this is ridiculous. All the way around. You don't do that to your employees. You don't do that to anybody. The trauma and the PTSD that people gonna have from this, from that, is incredible.
I mean, going as far as staging victims around the school with fake blood.
I don't care about that part. I care about him going around shooting blanks, which we Alec Baldwin can tell you that sometimes they don't exactly go down like it's supposed to. They're going around using real guns, shooting blanks in this place.
Yeah, man.
And
they apparently wanted to make it as lifelike as possible. And shady directors kept it from employees.
How ignorant is that? How ignorant is that? And then how ignorant is the fool that did the actual thing? He's putting his life in jeopardy that way.
Yeah.
What if somebody got out and was able to call the cops? And you know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, dude. Anyway,
too much could have went wrong for this to be a good idea, but it happened.
Somebody gonna pay for that.
Man, yeah, definitely. And other happenings though, so we can get to this extended haps here on this Friday. Former Louisville cop has pled guilty in the Breonna Taylor case. Again, there has been and there is an investigation into the conspiracy charge of former Louisville police detective who helped falsify the warrant. Again, the initial warrant that even allowed these officers to engage in the no-knock warrant that led to the death of Sister Taylor was falsified to begin with. So this whole thing was just wrong from the onset, and now one of the detectives involved in that has pled guilty. This is not a small thing. This is definitely huge. I mean, they basically framed this sister and killed her.
Yeah, they she falsified the records. She consorted with the cops later to get the story straight. They did all kinds of stuff over this
on the front end and the back end, try to cover it up, and now they're pleading guilty, so they're not even fighting it. Again, could it be a change, turn in the tide, Paul? Like you said, are we going to see more officers being held accountable? Maybe not.
Yeah, I think so, but I mean, not enough. But this was on her. She walked out of the courtroom with "Say Her Name" T-shirt on, so she was already feeling bad and already going to plead guilty. So know, so but still,
you did it
right.
So yeah, that is it for the lightning round, man. We definitely appreciate everyone for their input, for their thoughts, for letting their mind be free, letting their voice be heard. Some people actually go to the chat real quick about the shooting at Catholic Charities. Carolyn Jack says brought actors with him to fake dying too far, and she also says they did call 911. So apparently somebody did call the authorities.
Oh my God, how ignorant is that, man?
Can't bring that up. Can't make that up.
Wanda Lewis says we have until 2031. Then another extension is needed. Hopes are to permanently resolve the issue within the John Lewis bill. Let me go back and see what issue we're talking about.
The Voting Rights Act, which has to be extended. She says black voters still don't have ongoing rights to vote. President Ronald Reagan signed a 25-year extension to the Voting Rights Act for blacks. So I guess we have until 2031 for that to be renewed. Before we're not qualified voters. Again, man, that's right around the corner. That's 9 years. So read the writing on the wall. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, time for the haps. What's the haps? What's happening? What's going down? It is Friday. Time to talk about what's going down this weekend. Let us know what you have going on as well. If it's anything that we need to put on the Friends for Sky Omaha page and big up. Definitely, we need to remember that our friend, the chat chimer, Miss Erica Felt, is in the hospital right now.
and
Yes.
and she needs some assistance. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that meal train back in the chat for y'all. Do us a favor and please donate to this cause here so we can help her stay on her feet, keep her business in viable while she's trying to recover from her major surgery there. So that's one of the main things. Buddy, you got some hats for the people?
Not off top. I'll be honest. Let me give me a second. You go first.
Okay. This last 2 days is happening here for American Son. It's directed by Kathy Tyree over at the Benson Theater. Starts at 7:00 tonight and also tomorrow. Last 2 times to see the show, everybody is talking about this show and they're saying how powerful it is. Everybody that has gone. If you want to go see it, I still have some free tickets for the Friends of First Sky Omaha. So you got 2 more days to go check it out. Definitely go see it. What is it? 26th, 27th, and you can definitely hit me up for tickets for that. But yeah, powerful performance by the cast, directed by Kathy Tyree, which she's doing an awesome job. And it's going down, man, at the Benson Theater. It's the perfect thing to do to go see at the Benson Theater for sure. So check it out. American Son happening tonight and tomorrow night. Hit me up for tickets, and definitely go check them out. Also, for those of you that were looking forward to the Wiz Costume Jam has been postponed. It was supposed to be Sunday, and it has been postponed. We're trying to give some people more time to get their costumes together. We had kind of low turnout, low participation here for this, so we're going to try it again. We're going to try to big it up, try it again, and find another date to do that. House of Afro Capes and Curls First Sky Omaha has postponed the Wiz Costume Jam, if you were wondering what was happening on Sunday. So that's that. I know this is not a haps because it already happened, but did anybody go see the West Fest last night?
Wow.
Ice Cube, Cypress Hill, bro. Bone Thugs and Harmony, man. It went down at Pinnacle Arena last night. I saw a whole bunch of people out there videoing this on their phones. Yin Yang Twins. Yeah, man. Yeah, it went down. I saw some footage. It went down. I'm mad I missed it, but it's represented out here in Lincoln.
Man, big shout out to Ice Cube, man. Still moving and grooving, still doing things. He was actually just down here in Atlanta. His summer basketball league, the Big 3, still going strong, man. They just had their championship game here in Atlanta. So it's a beautiful thing to see that still flourishing and growing and getting bigger and bigger, man. So yeah, definitely big shout out to Ice Cube, man.
Love that, man. Still doing his thing.
Yes, sir.
I also want to talk a little bit about the festival that's coming up, Afro Fest Omaha 2022. Man, it's always a vibe out there at the Stinson Park area. September 3rd is going down. I'll be there from 2 to 10. If you haven't checked one of these Afro Fests out, it's an experience. You need to really go see what's going on with it. You'll have a great time, man.
And probably one of the most beautiful melanated experiences in Omaha. Really.
And if you think you know about how many different places of Africa have reside here, then just go there. It's a trip, man. They will put a DJ up from a certain region, and then all those people out from that region will come out and dance to that DJ. And they do this all day long. And you realize there's like 8 or 9 regions represented in Omaha that are straight from Africa, man. So it's a beautiful thing. Definitely check it out. September 3rd, Stinson Park. You know, it is over in Exarban area. For sure, definitely support and go get some good food too, man. There's gonna be some real serious food happening at this festival.
Man,
there's a couple places out here that serve African food, man, that make me feel high when I'm eating it. It's that good.
Elated
for real.
Yeah. Get you some rice jollof, some plantain. Oh, man. Yeah, man.
Ridiculous. Also, don't forget that Amber Ruffin will be in town here coming up as well. She will be doing the King of Kong. That's supposed to be happening at the Benson Theater as well. Let me get the dates on that because I keep on thinking that the dates are going to be on this flyer and they never are. Let me see if I can find those for you real quick. She's actually going to be. She actually got 2 shows that night. She's going to be hosting an improv that night, but she's also going to be hosting this King of Kong musical parody thing, and I think that's where everybody's going to. That's going to be the one that everybody really wants to go check out.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be really good. Yeah, I'll get you the dates for that in a sec. But that's coming up. Omaha Comedy Fest is happening. I believe it's the 2nd and 3rd.
Okay.
Theater.
How about while you look for those dates, let me hop into a couple haps and
Absolutely. Yep.
do that. Shout out to Brianna Full. Actually, start there in the chat. She said September Fest is coming up. Go buy your tickets and watch Bree Parker's professional boxing debut. Man, that's not a small thing. Big shout out to Bree Parker. Again, she is a part of the Spark team, but also a boxer. She is a part of the Bud Crawford camp. So shout out to the Crawford camp, man. Actually my cousin, man. Shout out to cousin Chance. He's also part of that camp. Steve Nelson, man. They got some heavy hitters, quite literally, pun intended, coming out of that camp. So definitely go check out Bree Parker for her professional boxing debut. That's going down September 3rd. And actually, a lot of things going down September 3rd, man. You might want to go out to the September Fest and like the morning, afternoon, and then around 3, go ahead and go to Afro Fest. And then right after that, big shout out to our partners and our friends over at White Rhino. They are throwing the music at the mall featuring Jacquees, R Style Band, Carl Thomas coming out. Come on, man. Summer Rain. Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah. So yeah, definitely shout out. It's gonna be a jam packed day on Saturday. Again, that goes down Saturday, September 3rd at 8 p.m.
What's that called again?
It's Music at the Mall. It's at the new Gene Leahy Mall Amphitheater. That's Saturday, September 3rd at 8 p.m. Jacquees, Carl Thomas, R Style Band. Sounds like it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I hear that.
Also, if you're looking for something to do, Friday, September 2nd, Friday family movie night on the Deuce is still going. So definitely go out, support all the activities, all the motion movement happening at the Bryan Center. Man, love seeing the community come together for that one. I love seeing the Deuce get active. So again, that's Friday, September 2nd, Friday family movie night on the Deuce.
Would like to say I did see somebody put in a post on Friends of First Sky Omaha. Omaha is doing it again, where there's several different events that's happening on the same day. There's no coordination going on. September 3rd is a heavy day for a lot of big acts.
Yeah.
And it's too bad because you got to kind of make a decision on where you're going to go. And of course, there's not a whole lot of us here, so this is the same demographic that everybody's trying to reach. I would love to see some more coordination. I would love to head up some coordination if that's what's needed in order for us to do some things and spread some events out so everybody's event can get supported. That would be a great thing. So September 3rd is one of those ones you're gonna have to try to make a choice, or do hop here, hop there, do a little bit here and there, and do the best you can on that. But yeah, so just want to acknowledge that again for everybody that's out there who is doing any of this kind of organizing promotion work. Let's coordinate. So
in the words of Pops, you got to coordinate.
Yeah,
you got to coordinate.
9:02 already. We're already late once again, buddy. You got some words for the people?
Oh man, big shout out to Sister Whittney Richardson, man. I genuinely enjoyed that conversation. I'm sure you did too, Paul. Hopefully everyone in the chat and listening, all the ghost listeners enjoyed as well. We're gonna have her back. Definitely get used to her, hearing her voice, seeing her face. Very impressed. But also big shout out to all the chat chimers, man. All of you, as always, letting your mind be free, letting your voice be heard, a part of this conversation, man. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. As always, the show would not be the same without you. Also wishing a speedy recovery for Sister E, Miss E. Again, get well soon. We appreciate you. We love you. As also check out the Mil Train if you would like to support her recovery. And without further ado, Paul B, go ahead and take it away.
Contrary to popular belief, Kimra Snipes is not doing what's good in the hood over at the Boss. She is going to do what's good in the hood here with us on First Sky Omaha. But no, shout out to her, shout out to the Boss, shout out to everybody doing the good work. Shout out to all of you. Really appreciate everybody that's joined into the chat. Pop says, fastest 2-hour morning show on air. Love you guys, our guest, and the First Sky fam. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks, Pops. Have a great weekend as well.
Peace.
Says, thank you, Paul, for helping out at the Proud to Be from North Omaha 13th annual cookout this past Saturday. It was my pleasure. I was happy to see that. I got to meet a few folks and hang out a little bit, and me and Brother Muhammad got to joke around and have some fun. So really appreciate it. Good food, well put together event. I can't wait to see what the Proud from North Omaha group does. Proud from North Omaha group does. In the future. I'm definitely down for part of that. So thank you for that. We really appreciate everybody who is supporting these kinds of things. I can't wait for Native Omaha Days. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's going down It's going down. The next one coming up.
Yeah,
So anyway, in the meantime, between time, we'll be around and we'll be talking about and promoting and doing everything we do. So just want to thank everyone. Oh, Jillian Post in the chat real quick says lesser known singer-songwriter festival called Porch Fest. I've heard of Porch Fest before.
Yeah.
In the Gifford Park neighborhood, plan ahead October 2nd. That's what's up. Whittney Richardson, I appreciate y'all. I was so nervous, so thank you for all the love. Oh,
you did good. You did good. You did good. Hey, as a performer, if you're not even experienced performers, if you're not getting butterflies before you go on stage, then you're in the wrong profession. So
there you go.
You're doing all right. We enjoyed you.
Yeah,
Come
and
back.
you really did handle it well, like you've been doing this all your life. So it's all good. I want to give thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. Thank you to all of you, the chat chimers, who've made this conversation great today. You guys have put in some really great chats, and man, we have some serious discussion that we went down today. We really appreciate that. Shout out to our whole squad, including Star Trek Rich and the Webrise crew. Shout out, Buddy. Give him a shout out to the space you're in today. So
man, Atlanta Art District. Make sure you check us out on social media. If you're ever in the Atlanta area, looking to record some vocals, looking to make some music, want to do a photo shoot, want to do a podcast, come holla at us.
There you go. That's what's up. Shout out to everybody who is a reoccurring member of the channel as well. Your financial contributions make these conversations happen. Please go to firstsky.omaha.com, hit the donate button, and help us to keep these conversations going with your donations. Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it. Have a great weekend. We will see you Monday.
Yes.
So take care of yourself this weekend. And when we're not on air, you can always go to the group page, Friends of First Sky Omaha, and post anything that you see that's of interest, make any comments you want to make. We look at that page before we get on air so we can talk about the things that the group wants to talk about. That's where you go and drop that information at Friends of First Sky Omaha. So really appreciate it. Tell me why 35. Yeah, tell us why. We like to know too.
We try to get out of here, y'all.
You guys have a good one, y'all. We'll see y'all later. Peace.
By the way, Vanguard. This is protected by the red